Do you need a prescription for BPC-157? Now, this is something that I've talked about on other videos. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you did. Do us a favor so that more people can find the show. But in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to really break down the real facts around BPC-157 and how many of you are using almost like a fake version of BPC-157 because you're not getting it formulated by a world-class pharmacist. It's not an easy peptide to make, and that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen it go into the pharmaceutical pathways like so many other peptides have. So let's jump into the science. So first of all, why would you want to have this made by a pharmacist? Well, here's the thing is these 15 amino acids are structured in a very selective way. And as pharmacies put these molecules together, they use mass spectrometry to bring in the right amino acid structures, and then it's the structure of the amino acids, it's the order in which they fall into, and then it's covalent bonding. And then there's a process called mirroring. It's called incorrect mirror image amino acids is what happens when you have a non-pharmaceutical grade version of BPC-157. And I'm starting to see it in so many supplements. I see it in stores. You see it on Amazon. These amino acids, if they're not structured properly, then the body, they degrade your stomach acids really quickly. Now, BPC-157, if it's got the right acetyl N groups, if it's got the right structure, the right covalent bonding, you're going to see that they can withstand the gastric secretions because that's where BPC-157 comes from. And actually, prior to having some of the technology that we have now that sequences these amino acids, the way that pharmacists would utilize BPC and where they'd make it from was actual human gastric secretions. And so now that there's all these fragments and there's these BPC-159, there's all these crazy versions of BPC-157, but a lot of people say, I don't really notice anything. I did peptides, Regan. I know you're the peptide guy and everybody's talking about, your book, The Peptide Blueprint or whatever, but I didn't notice anything. And that's where I say, okay, well, where did you get your BPC-157? I go, I got it from one of those websites online. I won't name any of them, but you do want to have a prescriptive-based peptide formula. And not only do you want to work with talented people who actually understand, how to dose it, how to prescribe it, but you want to work with those doctors who understand the nature of peptides. Because if you're not using a pharmaceutical grade, you may just be throwing money down the drain. And not only that, but you're not getting the benefits. And so your health is suffering because you're trying to do it on your own. Now, I'm a big fan of Home Depot and do-it-yourself projects. But when it comes to your health, you want to work with an expert. You're the owner of your body, but as the owner of your body, what's the team that you want to surround yourself with? Because I believe your health is your most valuable asset in life. It's the thing that allows you to be more expressive in your relationships. It allows you to be more connected to a higher power. Your health is what can propel you into a more exciting and ambitious future. Okay, so when you're working with a pharmacy and you're working with a prescribing medical team, then what you're going to know is that the BPC-157 that you're getting, those pharmacists are using what's called a solid phase amino acid synthesis, and that's SPPS. And it's really important because what that does is it's got these L-isomer amino acids only, and that allows these amino acids to fold exactly the way that you want them to fold. If you think of the universe, everything is vibrations, and shapes have a vibration. You think of the pyramids and how strong those triangles are and the energy that they emit. That's the same thing with these shapes of peptides. They turn on genes and they activate cell signaling based on the density and based on the structure of the shape. And so this preservation, it allows you to have the angiogenesis that you want or the formation of new blood vessels. It's cytoprotective. It's also anti-inflammatory. So it improves all the signaling when it comes from the right source. The other thing is generic BPC-157, I mentioned it gets degraded really quickly in the GI tract. So you may not even be getting any of the signaling, any of the anti-inflammatory benefits. And so what our pharmacists do, and we work with very world-class pharmacists, one of them's like a big bodybuilder, the other one was a strongman. And the only reason I bring those up is because they use the peptides first. They want to make them at the same quality that they're looking for their own athletic performance. That's where we sniffed them out because, first I try these peptides on myself. I'm always the guinea pig. And then I want to make sure that I have the highest quality to give to our patients. And the thing that they do is they apply this N-terminal acetylation. And so you'll see N-acetylated BPC-157. A lot of you will see that on the bottle. And then they have this C-terminal amidation, which shields the BPC from any kind of enzymatic attacks that would start breaking down that protein structure before it binds on the cell. This extends the half-life, and it also improves both the oral availability and the subcutaneous availability. So that makes it resistant to any of these proteostases that can break it down, but it also delivers long-lasting results. And so BPC-157, if you think about some of the benefits that you're going to get, is it's not just where you copy these 15 amino acid profiles. It's actually where you match the shape, you match the bonding, you have the terminals that are going to be really powerful in the acetylation so that you can actually get it to the target that you're aiming for. And what you'll see is a dramatic improvement in your body's ability to recover. You'll notice that you feel better, you look better, you'll notice that your skin actually has more elasticity and it's tighter. But the biggest thing is you'll notice that when you want to go and perform the way you do, maybe you're executive and you want to have that cognitive capability, BPC is very neuroprotective, so it helps detoxify the brain. You may be an athlete and you say, man, I want to be able to cycle up that mountain in record time. Well, BPC can help you recover and help with nitric oxide and also help with those fibroblasts so you can have better contractility in your muscles so that you can actually achieve new things at new ages and perform better than you ever have. So give BPC-157 a try. You can go to agelessfuture.com and reach out to our team because we only work with licensed pharmacies. And this is not easy. It hasn't been an easy journey to get to where we are, but we'll read your blood labs and then we'll put together a protocol so that you can optimize the utilization of BPC-157. And for those of you who are just obsessed with learning more about BPC-157, all you need to do is click on the show notes and I'll take you to my next video that talks all about the 15 amino acids that make up BPC-157 and how important they are working together synergistically for your overall performance. And I'll see you in the next video.